Today is Friday, the 28th, I think, of October. Yeah, I think it's the 28th. And we are going to start butchering chickens tonight. This will be our second time to work on them as soon as Scott gets home from work. So he wanted me and the kids to get everything set up for that. And so we're going to be doing that as soon as the kids get done with their schoolwork. They're finishing up their math and things. But in the meantime, I'm out here and I'm going to get the lean-to cleaned out and get the cage ready for Virginia. And also, there's one of the meat chickens that is, I think she's got like a genetic problem. I don't know if there's such thing as dwarfism in chickens or in poultry, but she's really small and she's her legs are underdeveloped and she just hops around, she doesn't walk. And I have been debating for a while whether I'm going to keep her or not because it just seems a shame to butcher her. I don't think she'd really be fit to eat. So I decided I'm going to keep her and just see what happens. If she dies, she dies. If she lives, she lives. So I'm going to be setting up her a little space in the lean-to as well for the winter, and Virginia, and I'm calling her Half Pint. And little Half Pint, they'll have their little apartments in the shed here with a heat lamp because neither one of them are able to perch, and that's how chickens stay warm in the winter, is to be able to perch. So I'm going to go ahead and get this cage that's for Virginia set up and put Half Pint in it, and I've got another cage ordered, and hopefully it will be here next week, and then I can switch things around and get things all ready for both of them for this winter. Virginia's still out in her summer home, and I'll probably keep her there for a few more weeks. I don't want to cage her up into a small cage until absolutely necessary, but I don't want her out when it gets below freezing most nights because she could get frostbite. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. I'll turn the camera around and I'll show you the shed, and then I will come back and show you what it looks like when I get it all cleaned up. I came out to get this crate cleaned out for Virginia for the winter, and Mr. Oliver went in there. So this is the shed. This is where Virginia was at last winter. I had this cage in there and I had the tarp, and then we cut this hole in the top so that the heat from the heat lamp could get through. And then there's the heat lamp that's hanging. Now all of this junk over here is Scott's stuff, and I really can't do much with it. I don't even know what it is. So I basically have this much space over here to work. So I'm going to get all of this junk cleaned out of here and try to figure out how I can set up two cages in here side by side. And I'm also hoping that once the girls are in here, then Oliver will decide this would be a good spot to sleep at night too. And I can just, if he starts coming in here at night, then I can just shut the door and then he'll be in there, and he won't get frostbite either because we'll have that heat lamp going. And also I could possibly set up two heat lamps if necessary, but we will see. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and when I get this all cleaned out, I'll be back and show you how I have it set up. And this will be a temporary thing until I get the other cage, until the other cage comes in. Okay, so there's Half Pint. There's little Half Pint in her new home. She's a little freaked out right now, but she'll settle down, I'm sure. This I've got this old little miniature frying pan that's going to be for her food, and then I've got a waterer in here, and this will be her winter home. And then I've got it. Let me get up. I'm on my knees. Oh, come out here so you can see. So that's that wired dog crate, and I put a fresh tarp around it, and basically the tarp is just to keep the wind out in the winter, because this lean-to is not airtight by any stretch, and we do get some really cold winters around here. So that's just a little bit added protection. Plus, I figure it will deter if any predators get in by any chance. They won't get to her. But I've got hers facing this way with her door's right there. And then when I get the other cage, it's going to go this way, long ways, and the door will face out. So I'll be able to take care of Virginia and a half pint easily. And then I've got the light is right here for now, but I'm going to have Scott move it more over this direction so that it's hanging between the two. And I didn't put any tarp on the top of her crate at all, so that all of the heat from the lamp will get to her. And it doesn't have to stay like above freezing in here. I mean, it would be nice if it did, but we get down in the negatives sometimes, and we get down in the teens in the really cold parts of the winter, and that's when damage can happen to your poultry if they can't perch properly. So I'm going to go get some half pint, a little bit of food, and we'll see how she does with that. Like I said, she's a little bit freaked out right now, but I wanted to get her safely out of the brooder house before we start the butchering process, because I did not want to take any chances of her accidentally winding up in the killing cone. So I don't think my husband would do that, but we're going to have other people around, and who knows what might happen. So anyway, let me go get her some food, and I'll be right back. So basically cleaning this out really wasn't all that bad. It looked a lot worse than it was, but mainly it was just garbage that needs to be burned. So I'm going to have Travis take care of that. I'm going to clean up the rest of my mess here, put some of this stuff back in here. And half pint she's still kind of freaked out, but I do have some food for her, and she'll adjust. Chickens are resilient. She will adjust to it. And I don't know if her longevity, her lifespan will be any longer because she's kind of a dwarf chicken, or what will happen, but she will have a good home with me for however long she lives. And if she doesn't live very long, we'll bury her out in our pet cemetery, and at least she will have that. She will have a natural lifespan. But see how she kind of holds her legs? Her legs are just not right. They're a lot shorter than they should be, and she's just a lot smaller than she should be. But, you know, I had one chick from the very beginning, from when they were about a week old, that just wasn't acting right, and I think that was little half pint here. She hasn't been right from the beginning. Alright, we're going to get this all cleaned up and put back together, and then we got to get out there and get things ready for our butchering this afternoon.